Twisted People, it's your Twisted Girl here, Chauncey K. Robinson, and today I am doing a review of Wormwood Apocalypse, the reasons for and against watching this new zombie movie. Wormwood is a zombie movie with the fun energy of Mad Max. There's never a dull moment. Simple and straightforward is the name of the Wormwood game here. Let's get into the reasons for and against watching Wormwood Apocalypse. Against. This is not The Walking Dead. And what do I mean by that exactly? Well, I mean that if you are looking for a zombie genre film that is a bit more character introspection, a slow build to actually seeing zombies, and it's more about the interpersonal dynamics through the people and things of that nature, then you are not going to get that here. This is very much zombies are at the forefront of this film. There's a zombie pretty much in every single scene. And, I say that because, I think, and I say this as a Walking Dead fan, at least seasons 1 through 5, that I think The Walking Dead kind of ushered in a subgenre of the zombie genre that was a bit more character introspective. It was a bit more situational. It was a bit more about the human. I mean, I think most zombie pictures are like that, but I feel like The Walking Dead kind of ushered in a time where that was elevated even more. Like, you could go like a whole episode of The Walking Dead without seeing like a zombie, or maybe it would just be a zombie when one of the cars drove by, and that was fine. People were into that because it was more about the people dealing with the aftermath and so on and so forth. This movie isn't like that, and if you're more into zombie films that are more like that, then you will be disappointed here. Not a layered plot. This movie is very straightforward. There's not many twists and turns here. I'm not going to say it's predictable, because actually it's not really necessarily predictable. It kind of throws you off in some of those instances in the movie. What I will say, though, is that this is a movie where it's all right there. What's going on, what's happening with the people dealing with the zombies, the aftermath, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. It's all very straightforward. Absurdity. Now, I like my fair share of absurdity because I think sometimes, once again, this talks to the idea of this sort of atmosphere of more recent zombie pictures and shows where it's a lot more realistic, aside from the Walking Undead, right? And this movie is a bit more on the absurd side. It's a bit more lavish. It's a bit more in your face. Certain things don't always completely line up. When bombs go off, you think people should die, and they don't. And you're like, what? And certain things and twists and turns about how the zombies are used or the mechanics of it are kind of like, huh? How's that gonna work? But I will say, you roll with it. If you can embrace that absurdity, I think you will enjoy it. But if you're someone who is looking for more of a, I don't even know how it can be necessarily realistic, undead sort of plot there, where everything else is very based in reality except for the fact that there are zombies walking about, then you will probably not like this. 3 reasons to watch Wormwood Apocalypse. Grindhouse Ozploitation. You may have heard of Grindhouse before, but have you heard of Ozploitation? I do believe that this term was probably used in the last couple of years, but it kind of talks to like the Mad Max sort of films, like the Australian exploitation film. And I believe it was Quentin Tarantino that used it first, where it was kind of like these, kind of slightly over the top sort of movies, Mad Max X type films, and they just happen to be in Australia. This very much is within the vein of that. If you enjoy that sort of thing, where you enjoy some of the over-the-top characters and the sort of over-the-top villains, but not to the point where it descends into silliness. Now, I want to make that clear, because sometimes you get things that are so over the top, you can't take it seriously. It becomes sort of just like ridiculous. That is not the case with this film. Yes, it leans into the absurdity. Yes, it leans into that sort of grindhouse, over the top, explosive sort of going on vibe, but it does it in a way that is a great addition to that genre, that subgenre of film. Straightforward world building. Wormwood is, well, there's two things about this film. One, Wormwood Apocalypse is a sequel to Wormwood Road of the Dead. You don't need to watch Wormwood Road of the Dead in order to get this film, though. So don't I would encourage watching it because it's from the same creators, and then clearly they have built such a solid universe that this is happening in, but it's not necessarily needed. And the other thing to understand about this film is that wormwood is a biblical term. It actually comes up in the Bible, and for good reason. I won't go into too much of that because it's sort of spoilery, but it definitely has a reference here. Not over the top, not bludgeoning you over the head with it, but it's within that, kind of playing on what that word kind of means, right? And it does it in a really good way. And the world building, it's pretty straightforward. It's not convoluted. And sometimes you can get that where when someone's trying to build a world, a universe where something that's kind of fantastical happens, it can feel like they had to do a whole bunch to kind of make this make sense. Fortunately, this film doesn't have to do that. It's pretty straightforward why this is happening. It's pretty straightforward, the aftermath of it. And it's simple, but it's good simple. Innovative zombie action. I just think it's really smart the way they went about the zombies in this movie, in this universe that they built. And just kudos to them for that, because it's something I haven't seen before in some of these, zombie features. And so I think that was really good. And then the action that sort of connected to the type of zombies these are really works. Certain things that the main characters have to do to figure things out and such like that. It really, really works. The action is nonstop in this film, but not to a point where you can't get to know the characters as much as you need to get to know them to kind of go on this journey with them. It's a 90-minute film. It doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's never really a dull moment. And if you are kind of hankering for a zombie picture that's a lot more of the action and the zombie rather than the retrospective conversations away from the zombies that happens in a lot of these shows, then you will enjoy this movie. My grade for Wormwood Apocalypse is an A. It does what it sets out to do. Thanks so much for watching, y'all, and please let me know if you plan on watching Wormwood Apocalypse. Do you agree with my assessment? Do you have some pros and cons? Let me know, comment down below, and also let me know your favorite zombie film. Until next time, thanks for watching.